Welcome to Charleston Uncorked, where the low country comes alive. I'm your host, Tony Leone, along with my main man, Scott Hairfield, and come on a journey with us through the Holy City as we explore food gems, craft cocktails, local sports, life outdoors, and the issues that are shaping our city. We are pouring it all out, all low country, no filter. And we are back after a small hiatus. What's up, family? Welcome to Charleston Uncorked. I'm Tony Leone, along with my main man, my co-host, Scott Hairfield. What's up, brother?
What's up, y'all?
All right. I'm digging the hat, man. I like
Thanks,
it.
buddy.
It's
Got to
nice
rep
and
the Citadel
fresh.
when I can. Yeah.
Nice and fresh. There you go. Do you rotate the hat when the sweatband gets too thick on there? Like, what's your rotation of hats?
Is it sweaty? Does it look sweaty?
It doesn't look, it looks good. Mine, I actually
Yeah.
I've started to just get good with throwing away a hat and getting a new one.
No. Don't throw them away. Something I learned a very long time ago. Brian Simpkin, James Island.
Yeah, I remember Brian.
You can wash your hats in the dishwasher. Did you know that? So that's what my other Citadel hat looks like. So
nasty.
Jonathan Sharp, shout out to our classmate.
Yep.
Jonathan. When we got those hats, he's like, look, I'm making these other ones. If you want them, I was like, hell yeah, I love that red one. So I got both of them, and I swap them out. But my blue Citadel hat looks exactly like that. So I do need to I have a whole stack of hats that I got to wash. Just haven't had the opportunity since we moved. But yeah, love this hat.
I'll throw it in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
All right, good to know. Okay, so we've got a couple things to talk about that we pulled out because it has been a hot minute. Boy, it's been a crazy couple of weeks in Charleston and the United States, for that matter. So, but we'll keep it Charleston focused. I think enough's been said and around the current events. Hopefully, because it is October 7th. So this is a 2-year anniversary of the Hamas attack. And we might be fulfilling our 90s childhood dream, which is peace in the Middle East. And you're a 90s kid if you follow it up with rock on to the break of dawn.
That's right. Should have said it. That's my bad. It was peace in the Middle East, peace the chicken grease or something.
Peace in the chicken grease. But I remember, as a kid, you go, peace in the Middle East, rock on to the break of dawn. Like, as soon as I heard Trump say, we're going to finally achieve peace in the Middle East, and I went, and rock on to the break of dawn? Like, is that going to be achieved too? Because that'd be good.
Anyone? No?
No? I was all alone. All alone.
All
right, so let's go through a couple
I didn't mean to leave you hanging. Yeah. We should have prepped that.
I should have prepped that. I was seeing if I could get out of here. Anyways, so we got a couple stories to go through. We got a little bit of a love with James Island Charter High School. I didn't know they had a surf club, but last month they showed up in a big way. We'll talk about that. Local South Carolina boy Jadeveon Clowney goes to the Death Star, the final coffin of your career, the Dallas Cowboys, and right before he went there, he got arrested. If you read the story, we'll see. I think maybe he has a case for a little bit of profiling there. I don't know. We'll see. It didn't seem like what he did was very arrestable. Also, and this will bring back some memories. I can't wait to chat about this. 50 years of the sand dollar on Folly Beach.
The big 50, ladies and gentlemen. I can't believe that. 50 years. We are old.
I know. Well, it's some of the best times you'll never remember. And
very well said.
We try and keep it pretty lighthearted, but man, I've just seen a string of some dark stories coming out of Charleston and South Carolina that if we're gonna do what we said to do, which was really talk about things, we're just gonna touch on it a little bit because it's just, you look at Charleston, it's beautiful scenery, wonderful people. I think anywhere you go, you get a very wonderful experience, but just like anywhere, money and evil corrupts, and we're not immune to it. So we'll just do a quick rundown of those stories, and lastly, we'll talk about how fart spray can get you arrested.
Love that one.
They
might not love it, but I love it. I thought it was funny.
All right, my brother. So let's start off with our first segment of What's in the Glass?
What's in the glass?
What's
in the glass?
glass? All right, what you got today?
Well, my beautiful bride made me, I was in a rush today. She made me a margarita, fresh, of course, nothing bottled, but yeah, just fresh squeezed lime juice, a little bit of agave and some good tequila shaken over a big cube. That's about it.
Done stamp. And what's on the rim there?
We got a little tahini.
Mmm.
Not everybody likes tahini, but I like it on half. That way. Oh, also Citadel glass. I'm not sure
I
if you
like
can see
that.
that.
I like that. I
I got to drink more, and you'll be able to see it.
I went complete opposite. How's that for local?
Oh my God.
So there's a story behind this glass. Okay.
Bubba Gump.
I
Where
know
they
this is-
been? Are they done
I have
forever?
no idea. I have no
They're
clue.
done out of Charleston.
They've got to be, right?
Yeah.
Tom McCarty.
Stop. Tell me the story, but tell me what's in that glass.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
what's
yeah,
in
I'll
the
tell you
glass?
the story. Okay. So this is actually really good. I was in Gatlinburg this past weekend, went to Dollywood. There's a cool little bottle shop there. And I found this Zool beer XUL. So I'm trying my best. Everybody loves the Sunshine Vanilla Limoncello Sour. And I'm not the biggest sour fan because sometimes it's just like, oh, I'm sour. And it like gets you. This
Super
one,
tart.
I wasn't even sure if it was a sour. You had told me about sours like this. You're like, no, dude, let me help you out. Let me get you a couple sours. And you were right. So I tried this one, 5.7% alcohol, gluten-free sour. And I'm telling you, man, this thing is so delicious. That's
It's a big boy too.
Mm-hmm. The logo looks really cool. So if anybody wants to go find that, I knew nothing about it other than
Oh,
the Italian in me loves limoncello.
limoncello.
So if you say beer and limoncello, you got me. And it just turned
And
out really well.
vanilla?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, we got to
It's-
make our own limoncello. We talked about that a few times, and now it's come up again. It takes a while. It's time consuming, not to physically make, but for it to rest. I want to do that.
How long does it have to rest for?
I think it depends, but from what I've seen, like 3 weeks, 3 months.
There's a big difference.
I don't know. I know nothing about limoncello. I just was like, oh, it's not something I can make between today and tomorrow. Fuck it. Forget about it.
All right.
But now it's come up multiple times, so I'm gonna do it. I'm
All
gonna
right.
do it.
I like my dad's a limoncello connoisseur. So
He's a limoncellist. No.
well, I'm gonna let that marinate. I liked it. So this is very good, very drinkable. That's why it's in the pint. And folks, if you see me scratching, I've yet to master the mustache trim. I can trim it around my lip, but I realize I'm letting the top hairs, they start getting real long, and now they're
Don't do
getting into my nose hairs.
that. You gotta
So-
talk to your dad and your brother. I mean, so I was
do.
thinking about this when I was trimming my beard yesterday. Tony, it's good to see him finally accept the men of the Leone family. All of them have mustaches, and I don't think I've ever seen your dad without one. I don't think you have either, right?
No. Mm-mm.
He's always had one,
Mhm.
which that's awesome. You
Yeah.
finally, was it because you're like, all right, I made it. I'm now.
Look, the only I tell people the only criteria for this is if my wife kicks me out of bed or not, and it hasn't happened.
It hasn't happened yet.
No, we're good. Like
That's
things
good.
are still good.
It looks good, buddy. I love it. I love
Thank
it.
you. I'm getting
Yeah.
used to it. I like it. It's very interesting. It is such a conversation starter. Strangers come up to me and go, "Wow, that's great."
I just had this conversation last week because, as you know, I had a pretty weird looking mustache when my wife was pregnant with
Amazing.
Isla.
We'll have to drop the picture of that.
Yeah, I'll have to put a picture of me. So when my wife was pregnant with our son, I didn't shave my beard at all. So I had this giant, huge beard. And then when she was pregnant with our daughter, she's like, please don't do that again. So I was like, all right, but I'm going to grow a mustache. And I did kind of this social experiment to where I unintentionally, it's not like I was like, oh, I'm going to go out and take a poll and see what you think about me. It was, you just start realizing how people interact with you differently.
Mm.
So for me, when I had this giant beard, you had a few guys that were like, "Yo, that thing's pretty sweet, man. Great job." And you're like, "Thanks." You know. But women and everybody else are just kind of like, you'll see them kind of walk around you and just like avoid you. And then when I had a handlebar mustache with wax and everything and kind of loop-de-doop, and people would go out of their way to talk to me, and they immediately thought I was the funniest person on the planet. They're like, "You are so funny." And I'm like, I don't know you. You've never said, I didn't say a word. They're just like, "You're hilarious. I love you. What's your name?" And they just start a conversation. You're like, this is very, and nobody would ever do that if I was either clean shaven or had a beard.
Yeah,
People don't do that anymore. So
it is
I've been thinking about bringing it
amazing-
back.
I think you should, and we'll redesign the logo based on our mustaches. But
So what's your experience?
it's been amazing because it makes people happy. And the other thing is I'm getting a lot of references to people that make people happy. So I've had some people go, "You're like the white Steve Harvey." Gotten that a couple
White
times.
Steve Harvey. I see that now. I'm never not seeing that. Oh my God.
I've got
You shouldn't have told me that.
I know.
Magnum PI, I see that.
Magnum PI I've gotten a couple times because especially when I get on a business call, I can look kind of, "Hey, what's up? Tell me what's going on with the deal. Where are we in this process?" And they're like, "Whoa, Magnum PI, what's up?" And then when I need to play, a little bit of old school punk rock dad, I can throw on the punk rock t-shirt and look like the grumpy old punk rocker with the mustache now. But it's been fun, man. That's why it hasn't gone anywhere. I'm like, not losing clients and I'm not getting divorced. That's all I need.
It's a win-win.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the reason I'm wanting to bring it back is because I've got white from here down, so it kind of looks, especially on camera, it looks like I don't have anything here, and I'm not white here yet. So I'm thinking about maybe leaving that in and
Come on,
growing
big
it back
dog.
out. But it looks good,
Come on, big dog. All right, so the story, but I'm not just randomly rocking Bubba Gump.
Tell me Bubba Gump's story.
So me and Tom McCarty, my insurance agent, one of the best in the business at New York Life. Shout out Tommy. Shout out Tommy, longtime friend. And so when we were young lads in the insurance business, we would do this tour your own town day. We do it in February, and they had like half prices for everything. They do discounts for Fort Sumter, discounts for carriage tours, ghost tours. So we would spend a whole day playing tourists. And like this particular one, we had Polaroid cameras around our necks. So we did everything. We started our morning off with the Fort Sumter tour, went and had lunch at Bubba Gump's. Then in the afternoon, did a carriage tour, came back, had drinks somewhere on Meeting Street, then went to dinner somewhere. I can't remember where we went, and then did the ghost tour that night. We obviously were bebopping and bar hopping. By the time we made it to the ghost tour, we were on out pretty good. But this was my souvenir. I'll always remember. I got this and about 30 Polaroids from Tour Your Own Town Day. It was Polaroids. Awesome. Yeah, it was great. Let's get into some of these stories. What do you think, man? Let's start off with a fun one. I love this because and we'll show you pictures. The swell was looking good, but the skills, oh my goodness. And I didn't realize that James Island Charter High School had a surf club. So
super cool, man.
Isn't that great? Members of the James Island Charter High School Surf Club made a 7-hour drive to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. This was back in mid-September to compete in the Eastern Surfing Association Invitation Only East Coast Championships. And they did not disappoint. Surf Club president and team captain Georgia Brown surfed her way to yet another East Coast championship, winning the junior women's shortboard division for the second time in 3 years. All right now, Georgia, let's go.
Go ahead, girl.
she brought home the silver medal in the women's open shortboard and junior women's longboard. So she's multi-talented. She's shredding and walking the plank. I like it. Surf Club Vice President Lucas Petrillo won his quarterfinal heat and just missed a finals appearance in both junior men's longboard and men's open longboard as he continues to show why he's considered one of the best junior longboarders on the East Coast. That is absolutely incredible. And as you can see, some of the pictures that Scott and I will be showing you. I mean, boy, just the idea of Charleston surfers showing up at the Outer Banks, high school kids, and doing it like that is, it got me charged up. I was like, let's go.
That's super cool. Fun fact, if I might jump in here, this is something I found out after I went to Bishop England. Because as you may or may not know, Tony and I went to Bishop England. And my dad started the surf club at Bishop England. Yeah, back in the 70s.
Really?
No shit. They don't have it now. They didn't have it when we were there, but it would have been cool to know that. Somebody else told me, they were like, yeah, dude, your dad had like super long hair and started the surfing club.
I laugh because I couldn't
knew my
imagine
dad.
Yeah, I could never imagine your dad surfing or with long hair. Did he surf when we were kids?
So no, I mean, he met my mom in high school and he went to college Charleston for a few years and they decided they were going to get married and, had my brother pretty young. And so he needed a job right away. I mean, he was one of 5 boys, so needed to make a living out in downtown. And, in the Hairfield household, you were out of the house when you get out of high school. It's just what it was. He started a job working for a computer business, and the rest is history. But he was a professional from then on. I remember us growing up when we were kids and him talking about surfing, like, oh, yeah, I used to surf all the time when we were growing up. But he never really talked about the surfing club at Bishop England. Somebody else told me that, and I was like, that's super cool, man. I wish we had one. Maybe it's time to bring it back, BE. What do you guys think?
I mean, come on, BE. We can.
They're out on Daniel Island now. You have access to multiple beaches these days.
Come on now. I remember we tried to start a surf club at the Citadel, and wherever you start a club, she snickered at me, and I was like, "What?" She goes, "You surfers every year try and start a surf club, and no one follows through."
That's true.
She was
I get
true.
that.
Because here's what was, I was like, I'll just go surfing. I would just,
Yeah.
just
Why do I need
find a
to-
way to get
I'll
out
just
and
go AWOL.
surf. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember coming back. We were still, actually, I probably was a guard by then. I definitely wasn't a BVA, but I remember coming back to train, and Piper, shout out to Sean Piper Surfboards.
Check him out, dude. He makes
Yeah.
some fantastic boards.
Scott and I both have some boards of his. It's so funny, when I asked him to build me a board, I said, give me a fat guy board that's very buoyant, that for someone that doesn't surf as much as he used to. And he goes, I got you.
I said the same thing. And I was like, but I don't want a long big boy. Give me something that's gonna float my fat ass, and also I can catch big and small waves. He's like, I got you, dude.
Yeah,
I love
did
my
the same.
board.
Yeah, it's a great board. I could catch a lot of waves with it still. So anyways, I remember I was coming back probably like a Wednesday or Thursday, and I'm clearly salty. And he looks at me and goes, "You son of a bitch, you went surfing, didn't you?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "It was great out there." And so I totally abandoned. She was right. I can't remember her name, but she was right. I totally abandoned the idea of the surf club because I was like, I'm wasting my time trying to start this club when I could just go surfing.
Well, what about the sailing club? Did you ever hear about that? My brother joined the sailing club because they were allowed to.
Your brother hooked me up. He told me, because we were in the same battalion. He goes, join the boat club. And I was like, a boat club? And he goes, no, join the boat club. And so this is about to be public. We're either going to ruin some people's times, or they're going to be like,
it's already done.
Okay,
it's
so
already done.
So join the boat club.
Back.
You could take a boat out from the Citadel and go boating. A powered boat, not sailboat. I think they're little Boston whalers or something. And so I would get on the boat cruise on over to the James Island Yacht Club, have someone like Artie or somebody meet me out there with a case of beer. I go tool around and we'd have fun, and then I'd bring the boat back. That was where your brother was like, "This is the easiest way to get out of here without getting in trouble." So,
Yeah, well, as
shout out to
everybody
Adam.
knows, yeah, he didn't give me these golden nuggets, right? Like I didn't see my brother like but maybe once knob year, and it was because he wanted me to, do my own thing.
Right.
Rightfully so. He was in Mike company, I was in Echo company at the time. Uh it's a hilarious story because him and his, knob roommates and friends, they would all come over to the house, all telling horror stories about how, oh, Mike company is the hardest company in the Corps, and we're the best at everything, and it's so hard. And I was like, okay, cool. Like we were at Bishop England at the time playing football, and I was like, well, I'm going there. Hopefully I'll get in Bravo because I had an uncle that was in Bravo. I was like, hopefully I'll go to the beach because they told me about the beach. It was easy, man. You could
Yeah.
breeze through that thing. All I heard was horror stories about Mike. Mike is the best. Mike is the hardest. Mike, Mike Reich. And I was like, interesting, and then I get this letter in the mail, and in the letter is this block, just one square cutout piece of white paper about that big. And it has a giant block letter on it. I don't know if you remember this or if you got one, but mine had a giant E on it. And it said, there was like a letter, and it like it's like, welcome to Echo. And I still have the letter.
That's all.
Very crazy. But my brother and his friend that was over just started laughing hysterically. And I was like, what, man? Easy company, right? It's going to be like easy. And he's like, no, you know how all those stories we told you that Mike was the hardest? He's like, Echo is the hardest. Hands down, the hardest company. You're fucked. There's no way you're going to make it through. And I'm like, wait, what? For real? He's like, yes. So at the time, Echo was like the most militarized.
Yeah.
They won all the banners. They won all the parades. They were like the hardest company around.
Yeah.
And, luckily I made it through. But yeah. I mean, I didn't see my brother because he was in a different battalion. I saw him, at home every once in a while, but he kind of kept it all a secret from then on. Like after his knob year, he didn't tell me shit because he knew I was going to go there. He didn't want to give any secrets away of how to make it easier.
Right.
Which was interesting, but yeah,
That's
shout
good
out, Adam.
though.
Love you, buddy.
So that's a E for easy, right? That's my favorite.
Right.
That's great.
What a piece of. Well, what's funny is a lot of old cats, a lot of older guys, they called it easy company back in the day. And I think it was, I ended up calling it that, as a joke to people that were
Right.
grads, and they'd be like, oh yeah, right. Easy company.
Yeah. If people don't know, each company, if you're even thinking about going to the Citadel, if you're a young person, I don't know. I don't know. Do you know if it's like that anymore where each company kind of had its thing? Because
So it is, but from what I've seen, it's not exactly the same. Each year it changes a little bit. And so they went through this thing where sophomores would do the sophomore shuffle, where when we were there, you would start in one company
which
and
is
you
terrible,
would
in my opinion.
graduate in one. I loved it. I mean,
No, the sophomore shuffle's terrible.
the sophomore shuffle, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, you build the bond. That's the whole thing. You build a bond with these people because you start out with a ton of kids in one company, and then you're dwindled down over the time, and then you end up with a specific number of people, right? I had a great experience, but the sophomore shuffle just kind of changed things for everybody. So when we were there, you would only go to a different company if you got in trouble. So if you got a battalion transfer for doing something quote unquote bad, or getting a bunch of tours, a bunch of cons, a bunch of punishments for the normal folk. And but yeah, that kind of all changed. So you see it when you go back and you watch the parades or you watch the march over for the football games, and you see how the cadets interact with both grads, how they march, and how they interact with each other. I don't know if you do this, but if I see a cadet out, like we went to Revelry Brewery the other day, And remember, we talked about their Philly cheesesteaks. I went there specifically for their Philly cheesesteak the other day, and there were some cadets over there, and I immediately walked up to them, started chatting, and they said the same thing. It's not the same. Like,
Mm,
yes, Echo Company is still hard, but they weren't winning everything. You know what I mean?
mm.
Like when we were there, they won all the parades, we won all the banners, we
Yeah, it
did
was a
all
joke. It would
Kelly Cup.
actually it
You
would be
know,
Mike and Echo would be, like, for the most squared away from marching to the Kelly Cup stuff, and then you had your Bravo Beaches, which were and Charlie Company, which was kinda chill, everyone's laid back. Uh,
Casual Cats. That's what the
Casual
guys
Cats.
were that I saw at Revelry. They're like,
Yeah,
we're in Charlie Company. I was like, oh hell yeah, Casual Cats. I got some buddies over there.
yeah. Look, India Company was known as the athletic company. We wanted to win all the intramurals. I mean, that was our thing. We like intramurals and can you get the most summer guards? Because again, difference to be a summer guard, it was mostly athletic. Now there's a GPA attached to it, which I would have never been a guard if there was a GPA attached to it. So, but we were known for the athletic company. So each company kind of had its little brand. And yeah, the sophomore shuffle kind of bummed me out because you do like the whole point is it's a unique school, it's a bond, and to break up that bond. Whenever I'd hear kids say that, they didn't like it. They're like, yeah, it's like, damn, man, you're killing the experience right out of the gate.
Yeah, what's funny is at our age, I run into people and their kids are starting to go there. You know what I mean? So they're like, oh well. So a good example is Joel. He was in with me in Echo Company, and I see him all the time because our kids go to Hanahan together, and
Mhm,
he's the chief firefighter over here. I think he's in North Charleston, but he lives in Hanahan.
mhm.
And I was asking him, I was like, "What company's your son is? He in Echo?" And he goes, "No, he's not." He's like, "I didn't want to do the legacy thing. I wanted him to make his own path." And so he got randomly placed in a different company. I'm not going to say which one it is. And and he goes, "Well, you remember this other guy? His son went there, and he didn't even make it a week. Made it a couple of days." And
Mm.
I was like, well, to each their own. It ain't for everybody,
Yeah.
right? And certain things happen for a reason. And I think it's interesting to see as a parent, and people come and they talk to me, hey, my son's going to the Citadel. Any advice? And that's an interesting question. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you don't really think about that much as like, hey, what can I tell this young man to get him through the Citadel, or young lady? And my advice is always the Citadel is always a great place to be from, and it's never a great place to be. You're hardly ever in the moment thinking, man, I'm so glad I'm here. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, but
That's
it's all
great.
worth it. It's all worth it. And, if you just hang in there, you can do anything for 9 months. Anything you put your mind to, you can do it. Just hang in there, zone them out, do your shit, keep your head down,
Mm.
and you'll be fine.
That's good
You know?
advice. It's true because in the moment you're never happy, but what's the old joke? You spend 4 years wanting to get out and the rest of your life hoping you could get back in.
Yeah. So, what advice would you give the young guys and gals
You
if
just
if 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 somebody confronted you, like one of your good buddies,
yeah.
or one of your neighbors came up and said, "Hey, what advice would you give my son or daughter? They're going to the Citadel. It's their freshman year. And they're in it for 2 months."
Yeah, have a short memory. I mean, to me it was I didn't even 1, I never considered quitting. That like I never entered into the Citadel and went, "Well, if this sucks, I can just quit." And I was like, I'm at the Citadel and I graduate from the Citadel. That's what's gonna happen. So there was no option for me. How do you help a kid out? I would just say participate. The worst thing you could be is a ghost. Like
Yep.
there's one thing worse than the pain and all the stuff that comes with it is people ignoring you. That's the worst thing. And so I just say jump in, participate, have fun, help each other out. Don't take it too seriously. You'll be fine.
Very good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had the same mentality. That the thing that got me through, honestly, was my brother. knowing that my brother made it through knob year,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, shit, if he could do it, I can do it. And
That's
so
for damn sure.
that's what I tell the cadets. I'm like, look at me. Okay? Look at me. Eyes on. If I can do it, you can do it. And they're like, hell yeah, this fat old guy, he did it.
That's
I
right.
can do it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Yeah.
keep your chin up, boys
I
and
like
girls. You can do it.
I like it.
Everything's fine.
And this is the fun part of the year. They're gonna start making the banners for Thanksgiving, then they're gonna start decorating for Christmas. This is like you have stuff to look. You never know that you have that to actually look forward to, but it is fun. Like that's the part that's
Yeah.
fun. So
I guarantee you will not die. And if
Yes.
you make it through, you'll have some of the best connections and friends
Mhm.
forever.
Yep. A perfect segue to running down to some sports. Let's start with the Citadel Bulldogs. So, how have they been doing? Well, a little bit of this and that. Let's look at the schedule because I saw they got their tails kicked in by Mercer. Then they beat Chattanooga. And then this weekend, they got Valdosta State at home. Should we go to this game? 2:00, Scott?
This weekend?
Yeah.
Let's go. I got nothing planned. I'm not making any plans for the rest of the year.
All right, so Valdosta State, Citadel, 2:00 Saturday. Best tailgating experience in Charleston. But they did play well against Chattanooga, which is not always an easy win for us on September 27th. So, look, they're on a 2-game win streak, and they're putting up points, man. 38 points against – oh, no, Mercer beat Citadel, sorry. Mercer beat Citadel. So, but 28 points? Come on now. And then they put 40 up on Sanford. So they're putting up points. We've seen the Citadel just be drudgery to watch. And
Well, they got some liquor drinkers, it sounds
they
like.
got some liquor drinkers. That's how I imagine the coach said it.
No.
I do. Sorry, coach.
I apologize, Coach.
Correct me if I'm wrong. If you didn't pronounce
Maurice, how'd you say it?
Maurice,
Come on.
I think the whole audience knows exactly how Maurice said we need liquor drinkers. Like it was Likker. Come on now. We know it.
Okay.
He would agree. I know he would. I know
He would
I
agree.
don't know,
He'd
but
be
I
like,
know.
hell yeah.
Sin finally dug itself out of a grave and showed signs of life with a 38-10 win over the not so exciting University of North Carolina Tar Heels, which it is still hilarious to watch. Bill Belichick. We all know he hasn't gone through a recruiting class, so you can't call this team like if you know anything about college sports, you got to get your recruiting class in there, and that's what he's leaning on. And North Carolina's bad. You do give him a pass there, but how are you going to recruit as a guy, grumpy old man in your 70s, who's got a circus around you with your fiance in her 20s? This is my opinion.
No, hell no.
The Super Bowl coach thing only goes so far. You're gonna go, oh, that's a circus over there.
Yeah.
And I think the trend is for years now is to be going with these young, kind of shit hot coaches. That trend started in the NFL and certainly probably taking college. I don't know. I have some experience with my brother being in college athletics for a long time on how hard recruiting is. But boy, I just don't see it. I know he's got to get through some recruiting classes, but boy, oh boy, we'll see. And then Gamecocks, let's see how they did because I can't stand them, but we got to give love. We got to give love to them. So they beat the shit out of Kentucky. All right.
Hey.
Yeah. But the big one is on October 11th, LSU, who's dropped to 11, right? So actually was LSU at 13 earlier?
Don't ask me, dog.
Yeah. I think
I'm a hard pass on
what was
college
LSU when they played Clemson and LSU kind of manhandled Clemson. But anyways, that'll be a good game for us to watch. It's a good night game, 7:45, right? So pour the tequila because it is a stimulant. So if you want to stay up, South Carolina versus LSU will give us Clemson fans a barometer about how badly we're going to get trounced or not, to be honest with you.
Great
I mean,
words.
that's how I look. Thank you very much. And lastly, a little bit of love to the Carolina Panthers. They beat the
Boy,
oh boy, the
here's the story.
Dolphins.
Yep,
Dude,
Dolphins.
if you watch the injury right before
Mm-mm.
the Panthers game,
Mm-mm.
you had one of those moments
I am
where
not going to post a picture or a video of this injury. You can Google it yourself. John Marr, my brother. Sorry.
he's a Dolphins
Sorry
fan.
for you. He is, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, it's bad when mama's on the sideline crying. That was heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't seem too bothered by it, honestly. If you saw his face and like how he was, I don't know if they'd already given him something for the pain or what, but he was geeking, dude.
There is a AI video of Miami coach McDaniels. You know, they do those AI videos where they voice over, and he goes, I'll paraphrase, but like, yeah, you see his leg get bent in half? You know why he's so fucking happy? Because he doesn't have a zombie back there throwing to him anymore. He's like, it's like talking about, I'd be happy too. And so, like, I mean, they jumped right on it. It was so.
Dude, those videos make me laugh so hard.
They did one with Dabo Sweeney too. It was they are the best. That's where AI I go, okay, I'll give you some more time before you take us over. But one of the funniest memes I've seen yet is this one we will post a picture of. It said picture of the nursing staff after treating Tyreek Hill, and it's a picture of 9 nurses all like 8 months pregnant holding their bellies.
Oh my God. Because he's got like 30 kids or something, right? That's so
many
funny.
kids.
That's so, yeah, no chance of slowing down either. He's like, I got them. I got them for life.
He's making up.
Wow. That's
look,
wild.
they're saying fertility rates and average child per household's going down. He's making up for it. So he's doing good work. But that was the internet never fails. Like gruesome injury, let's make it hilarious.
I love it. You know, like, I mean, as I've got a pretty weird and dark sense of humor sometimes. And I love it. People are making light of a crazy situation.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of life lessons, you need to do that. Otherwise, the world is pretty dark, as we've seen lately. You know, there's a lot of dark shit going around, and if you can't joke about it, some of them are in good taste. A lot of them, the funny ones, are in bad taste. Honestly, like I feel like those people that have a great sense of humor, they get it, and they'll laugh about it and move on. I mean, how does it affect you? You know what I mean? So, I've seen a lot of crazy shit, both Facebook and especially Instagram. There's some
there's some straight up comedians out there that
there's some crazy stuff.
It's their art form.
It's their life.
Speaking of which, you got Jadeveon Clowney, South Carolina boy. He'll be visiting he'll be coming to Carolina this weekend. They're playing the Panthers in Carolina. So congratulations, Carolina. You got 2 fans on your bandwagon this week, because if there's one thing we hate more than anything, it would be the Dallas Cowboys. And we still love you, Panthers. Yep. Panthers are our second team, and
they're our number 2. So before you guys, give us shit, we do like the Panthers.
If you don't know, you just got to go back to episode 1. Interesting, because the Cowboys thought they were going to be replacing Micah Parsons' void with an 11-year veteran. So let's trade out someone who's the best in their position in their prime for an 11-year veteran. Davion Clowney, obviously, he was an absolute terrorist when he played at South Carolina. He was so good. He did pretty well in the NFL, but didn't mount up to kind of that fearful defender that people thought he was going to be. But he still had a really good career. Ends up at Dallas Cowboys, but just in the total irony of it all, pretty par for the course for the Cowboys. He gets arrested like 2 days before getting over there
instantly.
Yeah. Now, I've read the story and I don't want to go over it too bad, but he apparently was trying to park in a parking lot of a complex or something like condos. And he said he was visiting his aunt, and the cop was like, "You can't park here." He's like, "I'm trying to visit my aunt." And they had like a little back and forth, and he didn't produce his ID. And he went, he got scooped up. So nothing too serious, but just the absolute irony of Jera getting rid of the number one defender in the country and replacing him with an 11-year-old veteran who just got arrested is sweet, sweet justice. I love it. Hopefully, Jadeveon Clowney doesn't. I don't want Jadeveon Clowney to get in silly trouble for that, but you know what I mean.
No, he's gonna get a slap on the wrist. It's kind of like it sounds like a Scotty Scheffler arrest. They didn't know who I was. The cop told me not to, and I drove around, and I was like, "Are you serious? Do you know who I am?" And they're like, "Yep, turn around, put your hands behind your back. I don't give a shit who you are. You're arrested. Get in the back." You know, it's like, yeah, but I'm. Shut up. I don't care. I don't care who you are. Get in the back.
It seems a little hardcore on the cop side, like the hall monitor cop.
Well, you got to understand, cops have a hard job.
Of course.
Chances are they don't know who this dude is. If you got anybody, I don't care what race you are, you got a guy that's giving you a mouth, doing something he ain't supposed to do, whether you're Scotty Scheffler or Clowney or anybody. Yeah, it makes them look like an idiot in the end. And I'm sure they're kicking themselves, but
he was, he was trying to go to a high school football game. You're Jadeveon Clowney. You can't make a phone call and be like, "I'm trying to go to the game. Can y'all sneak me in the back?"
No, they just assume that everybody knows who they are, and that they have a pass to go through life without any repercussions. Guess what? You're gonna pay for it.
Yep.
It happens. Happens all the time.
Yeah, fair enough. Damn, Jadeveon. Just come on now.
Lock it up.
So Scott and I were debating on going down this road, and actually, just because it's been a tough couple of weeks in the news, that I can't shake these dark stories coming out of Charleston and South Carolina. So I'm going to lump them into one and just do my best public service announcement to the people who this does not involve, because I don't want to say affects, but it involves everybody. And then we'll wrap up, Scott, with the sand dollar story, okay? And maybe the fart spray story. We've grown up in Charleston our whole lives, and I think our parents have done a good job of making sure we've been protected, live a good life, have a good community. But when you hear these string of stories, and I'm just going to run them down because it's shocking, right? We've got Donnie Ray Birchfield, a 35-year-old man in Lancaster, South Carolina, arrested in August 1st after he had allegedly kept 4 vulnerable adults captive in the basement of his home. And it began when an unreported death in July, officers found a deceased woman in the basement. Dude, are you kidding me? So he's gotten busted for false imprisonment, exploitation of a vulnerable adult, domestic violence, financial fraud. So he's basically taking their credit cards, making purchases, paying off his debts. One included a married couple where he was supposed to be their caregiver, and 2 women who he had romantic relationships with since 2015, Scott.
Holy shit.
Holy shit. So he's going to jail for a while. Then we've got Charleston magistrate arrested for child sex abuse. You know what? If I win the lottery, I'm going straight A team. If someone said, "Tony, what are you going to do with your lottery winnings?" I'm going to start an elite task force of people that just hunt down child predators. So
I'm with you. I'll be face.
There you go. And I'll be Mr. Tears. But it just boils my and as parents, obviously, I think most people say that. But charges, possession of child sexual abuse material, arrested September 16th. Then North Charleston corruption scheme. This has been a federal investigation of wide-ranging corruption involving city officials. There are 1, 2, 3 city councilmen in North Charleston, a nonprofit founder, and yeah, I'll name your name, Donovan Moten, a lobbyist, and then 3 other participants who all been charged with conspiracy to commit bribery, fraud, wire fraud, and financial fraud. So basically, they're taking kickbacks and frauds for where these things are supposed to be going through a nonprofit. They're actually getting kickbacks. Boom. Here's another one. Former SC lawmaker pleads guilty to distributing child sex abuse material. Oh, God. September 30th, arrested in June 25. And then just recently, Scott and I got a notification of someone that we kind of know, but only know, but we weren't friends with. We haven't talked to this person or seen them in 25 years. Faces 200 years in jail due to child sex exploitation. So the only reason I bring this up, Scott, and I know we're a fun show, but we did promise to talk about news. I love this city. Obviously, we started a podcast focused on it. And I think the way that I have and will always look at my city is somewhere that's pretty safe. You can raise a wonderful family here. The beauty of the city is undeniable, but evil is out there. And my PSA to families is don't let your guard down. Just don't let your guard down. Don't let Southern hospitality and the beauty of your city and the private schools and the money fool you into a false sense of security. Because I won't even mention another story of someone we went to high school with who was who was an attorney here who did horrific shit. So just don't let your guard down, folks. Now's not the time. Have fun. Don't be a helicopter parent, but don't get fooled, especially if you're new here, by the hospitality and beauty. This happens everywhere. I know it. I'll probably get a bunch of comments in here, but I got to put it out there, man. I think it's like our responsibility to just not paint this rosy picture. That's just the stories from the last 60 days.
It's crazy, dude. I still don't believe that one of those stories is of the person that we know.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
I'm going to have to do some digging to believe that. You never want to believe it. That last story that you kind of brushed over, that you were like, this guy, I do know that one was for real. But the one about our classmate, it's pretty crazy. I'm the first one to tell you, I try to avoid politics. I try to avoid the news just for this purpose. I am one of those people that tries to live in the now and in the present and in the positivity. Try to keep my family out of it, just so that life is already hard enough. We don't need to dwell on such negative shit. But when Tony kind of brought these stories, it was like, look, it is happening in our community, and I totally agree that we got to at least put it out there for our listeners to know. If they're not following the news, they maybe want to check out what's going on.
Yeah. I think the scariest part of those news stories is they're not like basement. Well, one of them was, but like they could be in your community. And I'm not trying to like say be that vigilante, but just be smart. Don't let your guard down. Know who your kids are hanging out with. You know, we've got kids, and obviously I trust wholeheartedly who my kids hang out with. But I imagine there's some people that think if you move here from like a different city that you've never felt like you could trust them out. Then you come here and you could be lulled into this false sense of security going, oh man, this place is great because it's very Southern hospitality, like I said. But you're talking about magistrates. You're talking about people in lawmaking positions. You're talking about city councilmen and
Firefighters.
Firefighters, the one that we're talking about that we know. It's like, dude, you just gotta more than ever, you gotta be a parent. Like I'm the opposite of Scott. I'm deep in politics, but I try and avoid it on this because I want to make sure we maintain unless the stuff impacts Charleston, I don't want to talk about it. But this stuff's happening in our backyard. So, anyways, that's not too much. However, there is one serious story we got to get to here.
My favorite story out of the bunch, and we must talk about it.
I mean,
because this was my son's very first prank. We'll talk about that afterwards. Let's talk.
Okay.
Tell me the story first.
So coming out of the not so far area of Florence, South Carolina, Flowtown, Hey.
Flowtown, holla.
Okay. uh, Florence County Sheriff's Office arrested a man on Friday following ongoing disturbances from students and parents regarding a mysterious odor throughout West Florence High School. Alexander Paul Roberts Lewis, that's a big name for someone that would use fart spray. 32 of Florence was charged with disturbing schools and malicious injury to property with a value of $10,000 or more. It had been following the complaints after students reported nausea, dizziness, and headaches after smelling what they described as strong gas-like odor through the school. Several parents reported leaving their kids at home from school due to the severity of it. Throughout the investigation, it was discovered that Lewis was allegedly responsible for creating the smell at West Florence High School between August 25th and September 19th. He was a teaching assistant and was spraying an internet-bought spray to imitate fecal odor, said the police. They believe he used the spray on several occasions, eventually disrupting the school, requiring children to receive medical attention for respiratory issues, and resulting in
Okay.
around 55 grand spent by the school for inspections and air conditioning damage.
Okay.
Ho!
That takes it too far. Okay. So hilarious story. But like, how long was he doing this for? That
Started in
is
August, so when
insane.
school started,
That's
he's a teacher.
insane.
Like basically when school got back.
Oh my God.
You ever
So
seen people who like they're in the blow up, like the vacuum,
yeah, the little
and they
that's
hit the
right.
fart, and you see people freak out.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
basically
like
what was happening to these students since day one. So like what? Like what? I'd be interested to ask the guy, why are you doing this to me? And to these kids? Why? What's
was
the purpose?
you would normally do it with other people to laugh. Like he's a teacher's assistant doing it by himself.
To kids.
To
Like how old are
children.
these kids?
Anywhere between
What class?
13
we
and
know?
18.
Oh, well, kind of funny, honestly. You know, like
High
13 to
school
18,
kids,
they might
enough.
have said 6, 7 one too many times, and the guy's like, you know what? Here's what's gonna happen. You say 6, 7 one more time, it's gonna smell like farts for the rest of the year. It wasn't a joke at the time, but my son's very first prank to me. This is what this story reminds me of. I'm sure I told you this, but maybe I haven't. But for our listeners, a good laugh.
I think I know.
So my son is like 2 years old, maybe 2.5. And he comes up to me and he holds out his hand and he says, "Daddy, smell this." And of course, up until this point, I'm like, okay, well, let me smell your hand. So I smell his hand and I was like, oh my God, what is that smell? He just looks at me and he's dying to laugh. And he goes, "That's my butt." And it's like, I'm like, wait, what? How did you, why did you
stink hand?
Like, he did the stink palm, and he stink palm, like, not just like shook my hand, but like made me put my whole face in his hand and smell it. And he's like, and he's just laughing. And my wife is just like dies laughing. And I was like, that is not okay. Hilarious, but like game on. Like the rest of your life, I got you, dude. So
that's one
teacher,
of my favorite.
Like it sucks that you got arrested for that, but I'm sure something kind of pushed you over the edge. Maybe a kid gave you the stink palm, and you're like,
sure he didn't anticipate.
You motherfuckers.
yeah, I'm gonna get you. But I'm sure he didn't anticipate them going 55 grand into the hole trying to find the smell.
That's
whoopsie.
That's a lot. And medical issues like with the kids.
Come on, kids.
Respiratory. Let's toughen up.
Come on.
Okay. What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Gluten-free fart spray or something?
Stop it.
Okay. So, all right, let's round this bad boy out with a celebration. This past month marked 50 years of one of Folly Beach's institutions, baby, the Sand Dollar. Yay, give it up for the Sand Dollar, baby. You made it. I was so worried when you
I
sent me
know.
that
I was.
story. I was like, don't you be closing
Don't
on me.
you dare!
Don't
Don't
you
you do
do
it!
it. So,
I
but that's
I'm
awesome.
I'm super pumped. So is it still $1 bar? Like, do you still it's a private, you have to. So
Last I checked, so for those of you who don't know, it's a private club, but it costs $1 to join, but you need a 24-hour waiting period, which is always my favorite thing. So you couldn't just roll in.
well, it used to be. Is it still that way? That's the question,
I
right?
haven't gone in a while since I've had a kid. So last time I
Maybe
checked, that was the
it's time to
case.
go.
But you know what? I think, yeah, maybe some research, right? Some business research needs to be done.
A little
Remember
R&D trip.
The Budweisers used to be $1. I think they're like $1.50 now, which is still way under
Inflation, son
inflation.
of a bitch.
I know. I mean, but just never's changed, never's wavered, and it's I just love it, man. I just love the Sand Dollar. I love the where beach people meet bikers, meet old, meet young, and it's everything you
It's a
want.
melting pot for sure. And
Yeah.
I love it. Every time I hear about the Sand Dollar, it reminds me of obviously you, because we've been there 1,000 times together.
Mhm.
But not just you, Josh Clayman, Richard Suggs, Corky Dunn, that crowd. It was that time in our life when we were going to Folly Beach like all the time. And for those of you who don't know, it's like right on the corner, like in the heart of everything. When you come all the way down Center Street, it's the very last block. It's a tiny little building that is a tiny little venue that stays open until what, like 2?
2. Yeah, I think, it used to be able to stay open later, but yeah.
They used to stay open until like 4 o'clock in the morning. And that's why we would go there, is because you could get there after the bars closed downtown, and everybody had a membership because, again, it's $1 to have a membership. And, you could dance, you could have a good time. They always had live music. They have a couple pool tables in there. They had very cheap beer. They always had a friendly staff. And, it's always been a place that we found refuge after going out after a night. And we want to keep the party going, where we just ended up on Folly Beach.
Might want to see the sun come up on the beach. Why is that so bad?
Yeah, go for a little night swim.
Little night swim.
Who's afraid of night swims? I mean,
afraid of a little slap and tickle.
No, not me.
Not me
I could
either.
tell you that much.
Not
Now,
up in the
granted,
sand.
if Garrett Brown is next to me, fishing for sharks at 4 o'clock in the morning, I ain't going swimming. But if I'm out there just paddling around, maybe chest deep, I'll be all right.
Refreshing.
But
Yep.
yes,
So
very refreshing.
So thank you, Sand Dollar, for being the store of our youth. And it sounds like you're doing fine. You're weathering all of the things. You'll be around for our children to be well-behaved knuckleheads going to the dollar. Okay, so with that said, you've got a couple things that you've recently. Let's kind of bring this home with a little bit of what's popping. You've got some things that you've met some people. You've eaten some new food. Give me the lowdown on what's going on.
One thing that came up recently. Have you heard of? I've never been there, but have you heard of the Bounty Bar on Folly?
I have been there. The Bounty Bar has drawn us in. It used to be where Taco Boy's old location was.
Oh,
remember that? So
I know exactly where you're talking about. Yeah,
and it's got a little rock and roll vibe to it. So obviously it drew me in. It's got skulls that says Bounty Bar. So my son was like, I want to go in there. Good rock vibe, cool spot. You could tell why it's the sister restaurant of Royal American, right?
Yeah. So most recently, I've been super pumped about this because I live in Hanahan, right?
Yeah.
So a new bar and grill. It's not just a bar. For those of you on the internet that have said it's only a bar, I shame you. Okay, I shame you for running away, people, because it's not just a bar. It is a restaurant, bar and grill, dog friendly, kid friendly, family friendly place in Hanahan. And it's called Johnny's Garage, and it's on Yeamans Hall Road. And I've been there. I mean, it opened up last week. I've been there Uh, I've been there 3 times.
Scott, what the fuck, bro?
I've been there 3 times. I can't stop going, okay? I have a problem. I have a problem with good food, great drink, and, fantastic service. I mean, these people, just the people alone make me want to go back. So time and time again, they also own the Royal American downtown. That's what kind of set the stage for me. Was I went to the Royal American a few times for music. Honestly, it was kind of like a later night spot where you could catch some live music, get some drinks. The first time I went, I honestly had no idea that they sold food. My wife's like, I'm super hungry. I'm hangry. I need something. And I was like, God. So I go to the bar. I'm like, hey, I need to get my wife something to eat. Do you guys sell food? She's like, not only do we have food, check out this menu. We got some of the best food around. So shout out to Royal American, because their food, incredible, like way better than anticipated.
Yeah.
I don't want to judge a book by its cover ever, but honestly, I did. The first time I went there, I was like, it's a rock and roll bar. I mean, they're not going to have food. It's like almost midnight. And
Damn
sure
good rock and roll bar, though. I saw the super suckers there. Dude,
I love that spot.
I've seen Driving and Crying there. I've seen Super Suckers. I saw a band called Blackfoot Gypsies there.
Love Wait, you and I saw them there.
Was that right before my wedding? Did we go there right before my wedding?
Yes,
we
went
saw
there.
The amazing and talented.
I was in your wedding.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
The amazing and talented Royal Tinfoil of Mackie Bowles there, right? And those are the best times you'll never remember as well.
Which by the way, word on the street is the Royal Tinfoil is making another album. I can't wait for that.
I know. I keep pressing Mackie. I'm like, bro.
Mackie.
And he goes, it's harder today. It's harder these days. I'm like, Mackie's.
It's hard.
Mackie's, hard. He's in zone defense. He's got 3 kids.
Man, I was the baby of 3, so I get it. But like, I wanted, when my wife and I got married, she's like, you want kids? I was like, yeah, I want like 5 boys. My dad was one of 5. I want a bunch of kids. Let's do it. And then we had my son, and I was like, I'm good. 1 is plenty. And she's like, well, let's keep going until we get a girl. And I was like, okay, no pressure. We got a girl, and I was like, okay, now I can be done. Now I can be done. Yeah, go back to Johnny's. This place is incredible. They have fantastic drinks. Stay tuned, because hopefully we'll get John. Don't call him Johnny.
Well, he called himself Johnny by naming his restaurant. I guess it doesn't have the same ring to it. John's Garage.
Right.
Fair enough, Johnny.
No, love the place, love the people. The food is fantastic. It's very reasonably priced. And one of the only places, this is one of the other things that kind of blew my mind. It's an old gas station that they turned into a restaurant. And not to spoil it, but they have some old bench seats from vehicles that they have bolted to the ground. And that's what you're sitting in when you go to their bar.
Oh, dude, that makes me want to go right now.
They have a ton of TVs, so if you're a football fan, they got it all.
All right,
but
we're gonna do a social content day.
We're doing a day
content day. That'd be fun.
They have what's called dirty sodas. There's no other place that I've been to in Charleston that has this. So they have sodas that are mixed with other ingredients. Okay, I know I lost you already, but you can add liquor to them. One of the most recent ones that I really enjoy has coconut water, lime, and Sprite or something. So even if you do not drink alcohol, they have some very good dirty sodas that can or cannot contain alcohol, and they're top notch. Very different.
I can't wait. That sounds like a social day. I love it. Okay, you got any what's poppin' events that are coming up for us as we round this thing up?
There's a couple of events that we've kind of already talked about, but some that I want to highlight again for the crowd. Zach Top is one of my favorite country music artists these days, and he's coming to the Credit One Stadium on October 24th. You got Tracy Lawrence with Josh Turner, who's also coming.
Where's that?
That is going to be at the North Charleston Performing Arts Center. We're going to
A
be out of
little
town.
Texas tornado.
Yeah, funny story. First time I saw Tracy Lawrence live was at the Hanahan Amphitheater. Took the kids there. That was their first real concert. It was super cool. So if you guys get an opportunity, go check that show out. He still sings. I don't know if he's using autotune or not, but even when I was a kid, I was like, this guy sounds fake. And he's got a golden voice. Okay. So Tracy Lawrence, Josh Turner, which of course Josh Turner is the opposite of Tracy Lawrence. Tracy Lawrence has kind of like that high soprano.
Yeah.
Josh Turner is more like a baby lock them doors and turn the lights down low. I don't know if that's the song he sings, but
That's pretty good now.
pretty good, right?
That's pretty good.
So yeah, we got quite a few things coming up. I mean, I know we've talked ad nauseum with the Charleston Beer Fest, but don't forget to go check that out. It's Halloween season, dude. Beer Fest again is October 25th. Is at Riverfront Park in North Charleston. Oktoberfest is all over the place.
Yeah, we need someone to report back to us because we're going to be out of town.
I know. I had the honor of checking out Holy City's newest speakeasy. As you guys know, we've been in there a few times.
I think we should definitely save that because I want to hear about that.
Yeah. So I did a quick post on our social media accounts with just some pictures. I'm really excited for them and that opportunity. We'll do another episode where you guys can see what they're doing and what their plan is with that space. Super fucking cool. I can't wait to report on it. I will save that. But they've got some Halloween stuff going on. So if you guys didn't know, Holy City does Holy City Halloween, and it's like a Halloween attraction where they have a haunted house that you can go through, and it's all month long. So go check out their website. We've got Boone Hall Pumpkin Patch and Corn Maze.
Always
and
fun.
Boone Hall Fright Night. If you've not been, you guys got to go to Boone Hall, man. My daughter's already been this year, which kind of bums me out that we haven't gone already, but we'll be going. We'll be taking the kids there. So they have a pumpkin patch, a corn maze, and a fright night. So they have 4 different attractions, really. So you can pick out your pumpkins, you can go through the corn maze on a tractor, and then they have these scary haunted houses that you can go through that are so much fun for all ages. Highly recommend. And it runs through most of October. So make sure you Google that and figure out the dates on that. But
yeah, it's always fun.
I mean, hands down, one of my favorite. I'm not a huge Halloween fan, but my family is, so we always end up doing it. So,
well, I am. So,
yeah. I mean, as anybody who knows us knows that we dress up every year. We might have to drop a few of those pictures.
My wife looks at me, like, you hear it's like, well, why can't you be more like him? My wife looks at me, is like, why can't we be more in sync with our costumes like the Hairfields? Like every year y'all come around. I'm like, damn it, Scott. Like
it takes some work. Okay. So you tell Ashley, this is so from me every year. My wife and my daughter are huge into Halloween. My son could care less. He's like, yeah, let me just get a cheap costume from the store. Halloween's not really my thing. I'll do whatever you tell me to do. And my wife comes up with a Halloween costume every year, and she's like, I'm going to be this. And I'm like, cool. Any suggestions for me? And she's like, no. I'm like, oh, okay. Then my daughter comes down. One year was Beetlejuice. And so my wife's like, I'm going to be Olivia. Okay, cool. Oh, got a guest.
Hey,
speak of the devil.
Let's come on in here.
Hey, first time on camera.
Oh my gosh, hold on.
Hi. Should bring us snacks?
Say hello to the people.
Hi, people.
Hello. We were just talking about you.
We were.
Oh my God. So my bride bought me a drink, and yours brought you food.
There you go.
I mean,
so sweet.
We're
boys, lucky guys.
It can be done. And this is 10 years of wedded bliss. Scott, how long you been married?
Since 2009. No, I'm not. I'm not adding that up.
Thank you, my love. That's amazing, bro. How good is that? Well, on that note,
right there.
I mean, I'm telling you what. On that note, I don't think you can wrap up a podcast because I'm glad it's on video. People are like, "What's happening?"
It's true. It's true.
I love it. All
Documented.
right, it's oyster season, folks. Go out and get some local oysters. We'll put a suggestion to one company we know in the show notes. Might be able to
Hey,
find them.
speaking of oysters,
Yeah,
Kansas and Blue Oyster Cult are playing at the North Charleston Performing Arts Center October 18th.
that's awesome.
So if we get this out in time, go check them out.
Yep.
You know, great show.
I came across a family-owned local oyster. So if your folks are trying to get really OG local oysters, Brown's Oyster Supply, locally owned, family-run business, father-son duo. They pick, wash, and bag everything as a family. We'll put a link to them. Now that we're entering into, hopefully, slightly cooler weather, it always signals that time for an oyster roast. We got ours coming up in 2 weeks. We will be showcasing my Charleston oyster cooker. In fact, we'll probably get him on the podcast as well because he makes a sweet custom oyster cooker that I have downstairs right now. We're going to be popping that cherry in 2 weeks. So, you coming? Are you coming to my oyster roast? Your wife got the invitation. Okay, don't worry about
it. I mean, if it's on our calendar, then yeah, I'll be there.
It got sent. It got sent.
Maybe we check out Brown's. You do have
I'm gonna order a bushel or two from Brown's. I'm gonna mix it up. I'm gonna get some singles. I'll hit up Crosby's and see what they got. Shout out Kenny. We'll hit up Crosby's and then I'm gonna get a bushel from Brown's. So I'll kind of mix up some Charleston locals.
Love it, because I want to check out Brown's.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm gonna mix it up. So it'll be fun, man. It'll be great. Dude, it was awesome. Good to see you. Sorry that we had a little bit of a delay for you and the folks. Been kind of crazy, but we'll try and stay on schedule. We have a podcast coming up Friday, so there's some more rolling in. We've had a little bit of trouble with our editing software, but Garrett's coming up, we promise. It's Red October, folks, so red fishing abound, so it'll still be very relevant. Let's stay with us, as always. Like, share, subscribe. It's how we grow. Any parting words for the people?
Oh, man, just y'all be safe out there, and like we said, keep it wild, keep it safe, keep it local.
Amen. Cheers. Thank you for listening to this episode of Charleston Uncorked. The only way we are going to grow is if you tell your friends. So please like, subscribe, and share. We would be eternally grateful. Thank you again for listening to this episode of Charleston Uncorked. We hope you enjoyed.